This is Steve Young, Global Executive Director of the Co-Roundtable for Moral Capitalism, with a third little comment on implications, lessons to be learned from the pandemic, the coronavirus. I was thinking the other day, listening to a couple of people and wondering about who should assume the burden of risk, who should be doing what, should you wear a face mask, should you not wear a face mask, of an old essay written by an American in the early 19th century whose name was Emerson, Ralph Waldo Emerson. He wrote an essay called Self-Reliance, which has been picked up. People haven't talked about it in a long time now here, but it was picked up as kind of an insight into the American character. What made Americans resilient? What made us special as sort of a nation of nations? People come here and they have opportunity and there's a work ethic. And Emerson talked about individualism and self-reliance, trusting yourself and expecting other people to trust you to be responsible. Just as you trusted them to be responsible. And if everybody's responsible, the sum total of that is a fairly moral and effective and balanced society. What's been interesting is how nobody in the last 2 months in America, and even when I read from other countries, has been talking much about trusting people, about self-reliance. People have talked about the responsibilities of government, the need for government, dependence on government, the responsibilities of business, dependence on business, as if somehow this virus has changed us to think of ourselves as victims. Now, in some sense, that's correct. We are victims. The virus attacks us, gets inside us. Fortunately for most people, younger people, it's not that serious. But for older people, as we know, in their 70s, 80s, particularly if you have, what I consider to be age-related diseases, hypertension, this, that, the other thing, diabetes over the years, 80% people in such conditions, particularly in senior living, old age homes, things like that, the mortality rate is very, very high. But for most of us, where is the expectation that we're counting on you to be a good person and a good citizen, and therefore go about your life in the economy, go to work, go to restaurants, whatever you do, but do it responsibly, aware of the possibility that you might be a carrier. And I'm puzzled. I mean, why have we sort of not trusted people so much, and we turn to institutions and power structures, and then people complain that governments and businesses have too much power? Isn't the antidote to work on ourselves? It's the moral courage of each one of us, not just the institutions, that we should value and treasure.